Hi, I'm Maya from Bookworm Dreams and welcome to a new video. Today I'm going to wrap up the final book support club readathon and check in with my Let's Finish book series goal that I had for this year. So for those who don't know, the final book support club is a support club created by Steph from Steph Loves. I will leave the link to her announcement video down below with all the important information. Basically, it's a community of people cheering other readers on to finish various book series that we are in the middle of. And they had a 2-week readathon happening in May, which basically the goal was to finish series or get up to date with some series. There was a bigger board and stuff, but I had only 2 things on that TBR and I read both of them. And with that, I finished 2 series. So the first book that I read was The Heart Principle by Helen Huang. This is book 3 in the Kiss Quotient series. This is a romance series in which we follow 3 different characters and 3 different relationships. And in each of the relationship, one of the partners is dealing with various problems. So in the first one, I think Stella in the first one has Asperger's. In the second one, oh my God, what's the name of the lady in the second one? In this one, we follow Anna. She is having a hard time dealing with her sudden internet fame, and it is making it difficult for her to do her job, which is a violinist, right? And basically to deal with her boyfriend being a complete jackass, she starts dating Kwan, who is himself recovering from cancer, and together they sort of start this relationship, and you know we see sort of the ups and downs and stuff. And in the middle of their relationship, there is a family emergency in Anna's family, and which brings out a lot of her issues that you deal with throughout the book. Now, I enjoyed all 3 books in this series: the Kiss Quotient, the Bride Test, and the Heart Principle. First of all, the smut is great. Second of all, the relationships are so fun to read, and they're so interesting. Like I always love when couples communicate. There is other stuff that is dealt with in these books other than the relationship. I mean, the relationship are sort of the A plot, but the B plot is people dealing with mental health issues, and sort of dealing with family and shitty boyfriends and so many other things. And it's a really, really great series, and I'm looking forward to whatever the author is going to write next. The second book I read was Dark Dawn by J. Christoph. This is book 3 in the Nevernight Chronicles. I giggle because I should have read this sooner. Not because I think I would have enjoyed it better if I read it sooner, and if I didn't leave like a year or some change between reading the finale of this series, because this series, the entire series follows Mia Corvere. Mia Corvere basically spends the entire series trying to avenge her family because they were involved in some failed coup, and basically now she wants to. In the first book, she trains to be an assassin so she can kill the dude who killed her family. And throughout the series, basically the first and the second book is Mia being an assassin. Mia trying. In the second book, there's like a gladiator competition that would bring Mia, if she won, would bring her in the vicinity of the dude who killed her family. And then we got to the third book. In the third book, basically there is a chosen one quest thing that came out of nowhere. That was so stupid. And there's also the love interest. Now, in the first book, Mia's love interest is a boy named Trick. And these are going to be spoilers, by the way, so if you don't want to know anything about this series, just skip. Then, at the end of book 1, Ashlyn kills Trick. And then in book 2, Ashlyn becomes Mia's love interest. I mean, they get together and all. And I was so annoyed when that happened, and I'm just trying to remember. I mean, she does know that Ashlyn killed Trick. I'm trying to remember when she found out. And after she found out, Mia still stayed with Ashlyn. And basically they've been together through the entirety of the third book. And that annoyed me to no end, because I don't like Ashlyn. I don't like them together. And I was rooting for her to die the entire book. And then when she died, I was angry because Trick didn't kill her, because Trick comes back from the dead. I mean, it's a whole thing. Anyway, the whole love triangle thing just really kind of dampened my enjoyment of this book. Another thing that this series is sort of well known for is flowery language and lots of footnotes. Now, I enjoyed the footnotes. I thought they were really funny and really added extra details about the world, and I just really, really enjoyed them. But I don't know, in this one, the flowery language really kind of got to me, and I was like more eye-rolly than anything else. I was just sending, while I was reading it, I was sending messages to Christina, like, because Christina has been trying to figure out whether to get rid of the books or not, and I was like, I completely understand why you would get rid of them, but also, if you see this, I put a lot of tabs in this book because I like to tab moments that are important and also important plot points. But this book has a lot of really cool character moments, basically moments with supporting characters and stuff, and those were really enjoyable. But yeah, overall, I did not enjoy this finale. And also it was very meta. If you read the book, I'm not going to spoil that part for you because I did spoil the love thing, but whatever. It was very meta, this third one. And overall, the series is just, I don't know. Usually I sort of judge a fantasy series with like whether I would reread it or not, and I think it would have to be a really long time until I get back to this series because I'm still so annoyed, and would still be annoyed with the fact that Mia had a full-blown, like, fell in love with the person who killed her first, or whatever, second boyfriend, second love, whatever, and it was just so, oh, no. Yeah, so that was my wrap-up for the readathon. And now I just quickly want to check in with the goal I set for myself at the beginning of the year, which is to finish more series. And I finished 8 series so far this year, which would be impressive if they were actually series I started before. Most of these series that I finished are series that I started this year. So I started and finished the Readathon series by Ruby Dixon. This is paranormal romance series with humans and aliens, right? Then the Kinsman series by Alona Andrews. This is basically a group of books set in the sort of Kinsman universe in which people have abilities, but they're sort of achieved through science and breeding and such. And, basically people finding their soulmate and whatnot, and destroying worlds and destroying stuff. It was really cool. Then I started and finished The Family by Katrina Jackson, which is a mafia romance series, which I enjoyed greatly. And I'm British, and I started the First Law trilogy by Joe Abercrombie this year, and I finished the first 3 books. The other books that are continued are basically standalones. I mean, they are part of the series, but the sort of original trilogy, I read that. In this series, we follow 3 characters as they're trying to survive the political machinations of a fucking evil wizard. And yeah, then I actually have a book for this. I started and finished the Greatcoat series by Sebastian de Castel, in which we have reviews for the first 3 books of this series. Basically, in this series, we follow the Greatcoats, who are like the king's musketeers, and after the king dies, he gives his musketeers, the Greatcoats, basically gives them a task. And so we follow Falkio, Basti, and Kest as they go around trying to achieve their tasks and get into so much trouble. Okay. So now let's talk about the series I started way before, but actually finished this year. So I finished the Broken Earth trilogy by N.K. Jemisin. This is 5th season, book 1 in the series. Basically, in this series, we follow Nesun as she is trying to survive the apocalypse of her world, the 5th season, and trying to find her family and sort of save the Earth at one point. It's very complicated, and I did enjoy the series overall. So I finished that one. Then I finally finished the Nikolai duology. So previously I read King of Scars, and this year I finished The Rule of Wolves by Lee Bardugo. Now in this duology we follow Nikolai, Zoya, and Nina from the previous books. So if you haven't read the Grishaverse trilogy and Crooked Kingdom duology, then all of these will be spoilers, I guess. But yeah, I read it. I really, really enjoyed it. Really loved the audiobooks. So definitely give them a try if you can. And those are all of the series that I've finished so far. Now, I want to focus on 3 series continuing on with this year. I want to focus on the Iron Druid series, which I started this year by Kevin Hearn. This is an urban fantasy series in which we follow Atticus O'Sullivan. He's a Celtic druid, the only one of his kind, and he's trying to survive all the other deities and creatures from various mythology well, he's currently in Arizona, but I think he's moving in the next one. I don't know. We'll see. Then I want to focus. I actually have 1 book left in the Imperial. See, I don't remember. Rad. I don't remember how to call this. What the name of the series is. How to pronounce the second thing. By Anne Lakis. Now I have book 3, the Ancillary Mercy. See, forgot how to say the name of the book either. Anyway, in this series we follow a warship that is now a soldier, or a soldier that used to be a warship, as it's trying to navigate stuff that's happening. I remember being very confused by the first book and then liking the second book way more, because we sort of focused on just one planet and one character and whatnot. The third one, basically, something's happening. I'm very fuzzy on the details, so I will try to read this in the next 3 months or so, so that I can finish with this series. Then, the last series I want to focus on is the Heartstrikers by Rachel Aaron. This is urban fantasy series in which we follow dragon shifters. Basically, the first book is called Last Dragons Finish Last. In the first book we have, it's not Julian. Is it Julian? I don't remember the dude's name. Basically, he's a dragon, and he is banished from his home because he's not ruthless enough, and his mother, who is very evil, basically turns him into a human and traps him in his human form and sends him to live in a city that is famous for hunting dragons. So he's supposed to go there and prove his ruthlessness so he can come back to the family, and then stuff happens. The thing with this book is that I just apparently read them during summer, and I don't know why. But yeah, that's the third series that I want to focus on in the next couple of months. Well, that's it for my video. If you have participated in the readathon, please do let me know. If you want to share the book series that you're currently in the middle of, please do share it so down below in the comments. If you like this video, please press the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, check out the links in the description box, and thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!